Hi everyone, uh, this is Emmanuel presenting to you the importance of parasitology. This evening, uh, my friend Daniel has already taken you through the introduction to parasitology. And to have a recap of it, we defined the term parasitology as the study of parasites. And we looked at some of the key terms there, like traditional parasitology, which is known as protozoology, hermetology, and medical parasitology. Now, we want to continue by looking at the importance of parasitology. When I say the importance of parasitology, I'm meaning like why do we need to study these parasites? Of what importance are they? These parasites are we need to study them because of various reasons that can be listed down. They can be studied in a way of looking at the importance of parasitic diseases, increased mobility of populations, then modification of the environment, and global warming and climate change, then mode of life of people, then endemicity of the disease, immunosuppression, then historical placement of parasitology, and finally, appearance of HIV/AIDS. Now, parasitology is going to encompass on these various fields, and we are going to see how important to know these parasites and how they affect such fields. So, how such fields affect the parasitic mode of life. Now, to begin with, uh, we begin with the increased mobility of populations. Now, looking at such scenarios, we see people moving in various places from one place to another within the same locality or across borders and oceans. People move. Remember, these people who are moving are potential hosts for parasites. Parasites like Plasmodium parasites, Intamiba historica that cause amoebiasis, and the Plasmodium that causes malaria can be transmitted by human beings. Human beings are potential hosts for those parasites. So once a person picks that parasite from one place, he goes with it to another place, and then that person can be able to spread it. So the movement of people from one place to another spreads parasites. There is another parasite known as the Trichomonas vaginalis. This one that affects the urinogenital system of humans, which is transmitted sexually. Once somebody has it or picks it maybe from Uganda, that person boards the plane and goes abroad. That person may get involved in sexual affairs with another person in a country where he has gone, and you will end up spreading that parasite. So, by studying the behavior or the spread or the epidemiology of these parasites, we are able to know that we are able to know how they can be transmitted, and at the end of the day, we try to avoid them. Then, importance of parasitic diseases. In parasitology, we learn about these parasitic diseases, their life cycle, and how they infect humans and other mammals. Now, These parasitic diseases like malaria and so on, they constitute the major health problems of the world and they hinder health growth and development of young children. These diseases are the major cause of poverty in tropical countries. Just imagine a situation in Uganda that Uganda has a number of parasitic diseases that do disturb Ugandans. For example, malaria, uh, trichomonas vaginalis, disease related. Uh, we have a disease known as leishmaniasis and so on, and those ones that infect uh, cows. Now, those diseases have made people to run into poverty life because of trying to treat them. The treatment is a bit expensive. So, if somebody is to save us money, he or she must devise means of avoiding contraction of malaria, uh, diseases that malaria and other parasitic diseases. When somebody is a cattle keeper, much of the efforts must be put in avoiding the the, the cattle contract diseases that are spread by various vectors, essential flies, and so on. Once these animals get sick, you will spend a lot of money treating them, or almost, or to an extent, they will die at the end of the day. That person will not gain anything from that kind of job. So it is very, very important to study the behavior, these parasites, and how they, they infect humans and the animals, such that we devise means of preventing them. But you cannot prevent something and you don't know how it behaves. So parasitology explains that or solves that problem. Now, when it comes to global warming and climate change, climate change is the long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns, whereas global warming is the gradual increase in the Earth's temperature due to accumulation of greenhouse greenhouse gases. Now, increase in temperature affects the life cycles of parasites, which can directly affect the prevalence of an organism in an area. So, temperature is a key factor when it comes to the life cycle of these parasites. Then, increase in temperature also facilitates the development of arthropod vectors that carry many diseases, that carry many parasitic organisms and the parasites themselves. For instance, when you look at the Plasmodium parasite that is spread by the female Anopheles mosquito, that parasite is endemic in tropical areas that seem to be warm, and it is not so much spread in in areas that do experience cold weather conditions and very hot weather conditions like the, the South American and the North America. So once you want to spread such a disease like malaria, now in areas where it has not been there, just increase temperature in that area. Then these arthropods, the mosquitoes, then will be able to invade that area, and then the disease will spread there. So global warming and climate change can spread diseases when the climate changes. Then we have a mode of life of people. Now, modes of life like swimming uh, spreads diseases to humans. Now, an act like swimming, somebody goes into water that harbors parasites, like the parasite that spreads bilharzia or cystomiasis. And that parasite, the hosts of that parasite is the water snail, infected water snail. And that snail is found in waters, dirty waters, ponds, lakes. So once somebody goes swimming there, it's most likely to pick the parasite. And remember, like, that parasite can penetrate directly into your body through the skin. So we have culture practices like funeral services. In villages, there when somebody dies, uh, friends, well wishers, and family members, they gather around to mourn and end up spending sleepless nights outside the house trying to comfort the family of the deceased, not knowing that they are exposing their bodies to mosquitoes. And those mosquitoes, once they bite them, they end up infecting them with Plasmodium parasite. Another one, praying sex for leisure. You end up praying unprotected sex, and you get exposed to individuals who are infected with trichomoniasis. That is a STD. It's this that is uh, transmitted through sexual intercourse. So those individuals that like that action so much, they have higher chances of contracting the disease because they are using the action for leisure, so they are exposed to very many victims. Other practices like bull roasting are key practices that spread these parasites. Remember, the parasite, some parasites like trypanosoma, bruceri, that causes a disease known as brucella, is as a result of eating half-cooked meat. Now, roast meat and eat it, you are exposing yourself to that parasite of trypanosoma bruceri. Why? Because that meat is half cooked. Yes. Then another aspect we can think about is the endemicity of the disease. For example, malaria staying in the tropics. Now, endemic of the disease is very, very crucial because if, for instance, the disease stays is endemic in a certain area, that disease has stages. It can have the infective stage where it manifests itself and kills people or causes a severe harm to them. And the other stage can be a dormant stage whereby the disease stays in a community in a low-lying state. Now, for example, this malaria disease. Uh, this malaria is caused by the Plasmodium parasite, where by this parasite can infect a human being and it stays there dormant for some time. Now, once it does so, the person physically may feel good or may feel that maybe the person may not be feeling malaria, but the parasite will be staying inside there, and the person will be busy harboring the parasite. So, such diseases spread at a rapid stage, most especially when the disease starts manifesting itself. The vector can come, picks the disease from that person, transmits it to another person. Then the other thing is when the parasite stays in a community in a low-lying state, it's very hard to diagnose it and it's very hard to get rid of it. Yes. And it will stay there until it infects other individuals. Then we have government intervention. Now, it is very good to study parasitology, simply because it enhances government intervention. It gives more light on how the government can fight such a disease by investing more in the healthcare sector, buying drugs, uh, sensitizations. For instance, the government of Uganda, after the health officers knowing that the malaria is spread by by mosquitoes, then the government of Uganda has devised means of sensitizing the population on how to avoid mosquito bites, like uh, spraying mosquitoes using insecticides and sleeping under mosquito nets and avoiding moving at night when your body is exposed. Then also the government can create quarantines, like a disease that has invaded a certain area and it has no cure. Then individuals that have been infected by that disease are isolated in order not to spread the disease to other people who are not who have not yet been exposed to it. And this one is also seen in a disease known as a foot and mouth disease that infects cows. The government of Uganda has been uh, making efforts to put quarantines on infected cattle corridors in Uganda in order not to spread the disease. But that one arises after studying the behavior of the disease, and that is parasitology. Then another aspect is immunosuppression, where the immune system uh, shuts down or is put to inactivity by the parasite that has invaded that particular individual. That one is done in various aspects. For example, the parasite can resort to antigen shading or antigen variation. It is common in parasites under genus Leishmania, whereby the protein that can be recognized by the by cells of the immune system, well, can be shed off by the parasite, such that that parasite is not recognized by the immune system. Then some parasites are very funny. They have a habit of hiding inside the phagocytes or the white blood cells. Now, once it hides there, it's very hard for the phagocyte to engulf it or to recognize it. So they are very, very funny. We shall expound more on immunosuppression when it comes to looking at mechanisms by which parasites use to invade the immune system. So parasitology brings out all of these aspects, and because of that, basing on this, science can be able to manipulate some vaccines and drugs that can treat parasites that are stubborn to that extent. Then we have modification of the environment. For example, increase in in waters of the lake can spread snails, water snails. And we saw earlier that water snails they are the ones that are responsible for harboring parasites that spread a disease known as bilharzia or systemiasis. So now, for instance, a lake like Lake Victoria, once waters levels increase in Lake Victoria, then they will start spreading to the shores. When they spread to the shores, they deposit their snails. That's why it is not recommended to build at the shore or to establish a home at the shores of the lake. Why? Because we are trying to avoid you from being exposed to vectors that cause diseases of that kind. So, in other words, parasitology is very, very, very important. We need to study parasitology because of the aspects that we have tried to expound more. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.